Dum dum dum. It's Saturday Night Live. Not really. I'm not the show, of course. Wait for a few people to get out here. There's one. I can always count on you, Steven. You're always the first one to show up. What's going on, brother? How the heck are you? Wow, a whole bunch of people popped in there right away. That's pretty cool. Oh, what's going on, everybody, tonight? How's life treating everybody? I'll put my eyeballs on. Ooh, man, them things are dirty. I don't think there's much saving these, but hey. I'm not doing too bad. All things considered. Had to go get some hay today from a horse. That was kind of expensive, but excuse me. Now we're down to one, so it's not near as bad. I don't have to buy near as much, and it lasts longer. But even hay's going up. Yeah, I thank the Lord that I'm blessed enough to be able to have funds to do it, Could be worse off. Of course, it's getting pretty slow at work, too. Who knows? They may decide to boot my butt down the road. Then we'd be in trouble. I don't know if I could generate enough income to support the family on my own or what, but there's a plan for me. I just don't know what it is, and I probably never will. Anyway, oh, excuse me. So, even in the transmission rebuild profession, I don't know if you'd call it professional for what I do, but even my suppliers are having trouble getting parts. I sent a couple of pumps up to Total Transmissions in Chicago, which is one of my suppliers I use. I sent 2 pumps and a converter up there, and they were waiting on pump slides for the pumps. They had everything else, but just no slides. So that's what's holding them pumps coming back. And he said he was going to get the torque converter done. I called him, I think, like Thursday. Supposed to have the torque converter done Thursday and probably get things sent out. But so anyway, yeah, things have been good. On some fronts. I'm not going to go into details yet. I don't want to do anything, and I don't want to say anything and out of respect. So, excuse me. There might be some big changes. I don't know. We'll just have to play it by ear. Like I said, I did go get hay today, and we had a storm. Looked like it was going to try to rain today because, of course, we're in rainy season down here. So I decided to boogie down to try to get hay this morning before it rained. And got down there and got back before it rained, and then I had to unload it, and I was in jeans because if y'all have ever bucked hay, It sucks to do it in shorts because the haze just makes your legs itch like nobody's business, and it just sticks to you because you're sweating. And it was so humid. There wasn't a freaking dry piece of clothes on me when I got done. And but I got it in there just before it started sprinkling. So like I told the wife, I says it's all about timing, apparently. So but boom, a little bit of light. It's not much. I don't have one of those fancy uh round circle type lights. And I get this cheesy grainy camera that's on my monitor. That's all I got to do the live stream. So uh, all my equipment is so old. I mean, I could do it on my phone, I guess, but oh, good lord, um, it's not as good as mic. I've got this mic that I use that I really like. Um, and from what y'all have told me in the past, it sounds pretty good. So, um, yeah. Anyway, so the 45 has been doing some speeches here lately, and the one he did in Tennessee yesterday, um, he kind of teased around about running again. Um, and of course, he asked the crowd there, says, "You plan?" Says, "Would you like me to run again?" And of course, the crowd goes absolutely berserk. Um, yeah, this is. No, I did not see that one. Hell, he can't even walk up the stairs to Air Force One. Not surprised he fell off his bike. The guy is just he's bought and paid for. He's bought and paid for. So as long as there's money coming in his pocket, he doesn't care and he'll say anything. Interesting. There's got to be something out there on it. There is. Second one up. Biden falls off bike. 11 hours. Look at all the people taking pictures. That's hilarious. Woo, look at that freaking commentator with that hair. Apparently, he didn't crack his skull good enough. How'd you like to be one of the Secret Service that has to ride with him? That's too funny. Well, yeah, but Stephen, he wants to make the appearance that he's young and full of energy and can lead our country. Yeah, how's that worked for him? But anywho, yeah, it was. There's been some comical stuff going on. Well, yeah, but I think most people could probably stop a bike to answer a question without falling off of it. I mean, if he's that bad, he shouldn't be riding anyway. He's a little bit off his rocker anyhow. Okay, he's a lot off his rocker. Forget to put your feet down, or your feet don't want to go down. Kind of like how do you walk up? How do you fall when you're going walking up a flight of stairs for Air Force One? Same kind of deal. Yeah, right. Quite humorous. Oh, excuse me. Still kind of camper shopping, trying to figure out what I'm going to do for a camper. Some events have unfolded here at the house that I had to back out of the dealings I had with one gentleman. I'm buying a an old shuttle bus, and I wanted to convert it into a camper because of its size. I kind of got shot down on that one, just like everything else that's going on. But thank God I finally got rid of my damn tax issue. I think I'm finally free and clear of the old shop, and all the pains in the butt that it left me. Be nice. Oh, I get up and go to church in the morning. To see how expensive everything is at the grocery store. Don't need much, but we're going through chicken pretty fast because we've been feeding the dogs chicken. We've been making their own uh, dog food, um, rice, sweet potato, green beans, and chicken. And of course, the dogs love it. I mean, it's good stuff for them. But we're making it like every 3-4 days. And every time you make it, we got 3 dogs, so every time you make it, it's 4 chicken breasts, and they're the good ones. They're not the frozen ones. So they're usually pretty good size, but like I said, we go through the chicken. Don't have any more room in our freezer. I've been, excuse me, been trying to stock up on stuff just in case something was to happen. Been kind of looking for a generator too at the back of my head. Been looking for a diesel generator, but I'm not sure that a diesel one's the way to go. But we don't have natural gas here, and propane's even worse. Propane's expensive for a generator. There's some guy that was selling some on Marketplace. He was advertising because of hurricane season. He said he's got 6 kW up to 22 kW generators, diesel, ready to go. That are refurbishing, and it starts at 4,600 and goes up for refurbished. That's yeah, okay. So you throw a can of paint on it and call it refurbished. And how many hours has it got on it? Has it been gone through for $4,600? That seems kind of pricey to me. So I guess we'll just stick with our little gas one we got right now and just have at it. But it's never ceases to amaze me. They're wanting to push all these electric vehicles, but yet they're talking. They can't even supply enough power now to support what we're doing. and they've got this false sense that solar is going to be the way to go and wind's going to be the way to go. But then you're adding all these extra electric vehicles to the grid. It just can't support it. I don't get their thinking. I really don't. I mean, why destroy something that was working? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's my point. Anyway, so yeah, I've been looking at some Class A motorhomes and Class C's, and I I can't justify the price on a Class C when a Class A is about half the price, but it's also usually double the size. Now I found some pretty decent ones, but um, still. But yet, there's always the option I can always go back to a fifth wheel. Um, I know the condition of my truck, and I know it doesn't need tires, but anytime you buy a used fifth wheel, or anything for that matter, half the time you're going to have to put tires on it. You don't know that they've actually told you the truth to whether or not the thing leaks. It's funny, some of the advertisements they show says absolutely spotless camper, and right in the picture you can see that it's got some interior roof panels hanging down, and excuse me, and it's not absolutely perfect, not by any means. And they talk about being the roof reseal, and I don't know if you guys know anything about a rubber membrane roof, but I learned a lot on having my Cedar Creek, and that's kind of why I'm kind of skeptical about buying a lighter end camper. Like a Jayco Seneca, those are Class C's. Um, they have a fiberglass roof on it, which is virtually maintenance free, other than the skylights. You got to get up there and check your silicone around the skylights and that kind of thing. Make sure it's in good condition or reseal it if necessary. Um, so, but the roof itself, as long as you keep the sealant where it meets up, you'll never have a problem out of it. The rubber membrane's another story. It deteriorates and it cracks, and you'll end up with leaks in it, or like what I ran into with mine. You'll have a pinhole in it where the installer put it together and jabbed it and didn't say anything, and then it leaked, and then the company wouldn't stand behind it. They said, "Oh, we didn't do that," and then they say, "Well, there's nothing wrong with our product," and big rigmarole, and then I'm out. What's up, Mike? So, so this one bus I looked at, it's kind of rough all the way around, but it's not. And I mean, the bones of it are really good, and it's really clean on the underside. There's no rust on the frame. It's apparently always been a Florida bus, and it's not been on the coast. So, you know, metal wise, the thing is pretty clean. And I noticed in one of the pictures that I had that they'd gotten into a branch or something on the roof, and it's got a small hole in it. But it's a fiberglass roof. So I could either choose to fix the fiberglass or just lay a new roof. What in the heck were you in the hospital for, Mike? You'd probably mentioned it before and just forgot, but or I just forgot, but anyway, this bus, it needs some tires and of course it's still got all the seats in it, but it's the perfect size to make a small RV out of. It's just there's a lot involved to making it all work. But I mean, I got a floor plan on my head that would be kick butt. But sure, I'd like to have something that's already done, but that involves a lot more money than I got. Ew, that's no bueno. That's pretty bad if you got them if you're checking up blood. That's called too much stress and burning the candle at both ends. I never got that far, but I know I was pushing it. And that's part of the reason why I decided to, well, my wife helped me with it, why I got out of the owning my business is because that it was literally killing me. And if I didn't do something about it, I was going to give myself a heart attack or something like that. So doctor keeps telling me I need to have colonoscopy done. I'm just been putting it off. I'm at that age where I need to have prostate exam too, and I've been putting that off. But kind of sucks getting old in that way. Grease and spicy. Yeah, I could understand that. I don't do a whole lot of spicy stuff anymore. Um, for that matter, I really don't do a whole lot of greasy stuff. I mean, don't eat hordes of fried foods and that kind of stuff. Well, 85 hours a week is better than 120, but 85 hours in a week is too much too, in my book. Of course, I can't say nothing. When I was younger, I had two jobs and I was working a lot of hours. Um, but I had to make ends meet, and have some spending money. I had to do it, and I still work more than I should. And I still do side jobs, and I shouldn't be doing those, but I got to do it. I have to do it to keep my mind occupied, because if my mind is not occupied with something that I prefer to do, um, then it ventures off into thoughts that shouldn't be thought. Um, it gets me depressed. Um, just have a rough go at it. Um, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. I was going to add something else to it, but something tells me I need to do these live streams a little earlier because I'm not getting a whole lot of people in here. And I am a little late, but the on Paramount on YouTube TV has Paramount Plus, and they were streaming season 3 and 4 of Yellowstone for the Father's Day weekend, and I was binge watching Yellowstone, and I really enjoyed that show. And of course, when it was getting good and something happened, they said, "Oh well, we'll continue it on 12 o'clock tomorrow." I'm like, "Well, son of a buck." Yeah, Mike, I dread that if something happens like that. I don't know that it will, but it could. I mean, if we were smart individuals, we'd sell our house right now because it's almost doubled in value since we bought the thing. Yeah, we've been watching that too. My wife is it's on Get TV, and she's been watching that a bunch. But anywho, yeah, there's just nobody. Well, this is Father's Day weekend, so old Matlock, Andy Griffith. Well, thank you. Only thing I'm father to is these four-legged kids, and I've been fathered a lot of them. Oh Lord. I think I finally got, well, almost. I'm still waiting on some clutches, but I think I got it pretty much everything I need to put this case together. Uh, for one of the guys at work. Put a 4L, making a 4L70 for him. He's bought himself another 5.3, and he's going to put a Truck Norris cam in it from BTR. And I think he's doing I don't know if he's doing the trending update on this. Well, heck yeah. Man, I miss going to the lake. I am not a huge beach person. The Florida thing was the wife's idea. I'm more of a lake person. I've always been a lake person. And I miss the lakes up in Missouri because we had some good ones. Um, my favorite up there was Table Rock Lake. It's a beautiful lake. Um, very clean. I mean, yeah, the water tasted like fish water, but I mean, it was very clean. It was the water was always clean. It wasn't a cloudy because it was built. It's a man-made lake, if I remember right. It was man-made lake, and it was built in an old rock quarry, and they just made a lake out of it, and it's absolutely huge. Um, beautiful lake, and I just miss sitting out there on the peninsula, one of my favorite campgrounds, and watching the sunset. You know, as the boats go scooting by. Anytime you get a big holiday like that, though, the water is so busy with boats and jet skis and um, all that kind of stuff. I mean, Palm de Terre was another good lake that was up there. That was another. Have I ever been to Table Rock Lake? Oh yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've been to Table Rock Lake. Love, like I said, love that lake. Um, practically grew up there. That was our every summer vacation spot growing up. My parents would take us down there. Sounds about right. Yeah, Mike, that's got to be my favorite lake. If you know anything about Table Rock Lake, and one of the best places was um, off of Highway 13, Kimberlin City. On the other side of Kimberlin City, and the big bridge that they had out there uh, was a campground. Was a campground called Mill Creek Campground. It's on Reserve USA. Now I don't know if it's open because when it floods real bad or the lake gets out, unfortunately, that campground gets underwater. It has for years. They usually rebuild it and get it back. Yeah, Mill Creek, and that's where we basically grew up. I mean, we'd stay there the whole time on the main loop. It would face the Kimberlin City Bridge, and I can remember many times it was it was like 5 or 6 spots down from the boat ramp. And I can remember growing up, and Grandpa and I would go out fishing first thing in the morning at crack of a moon's ass, and we'd go out there fishing, and there wouldn't be anybody on the water, and it'd be nice and smooth. Uh, he had a little 9.9 Evinrude on the back of an aluminum boat, and there's a couple of pictures of us going fishing, and he'd have that thing down, and the nose of this thing would be way up. But there were some really good coves back in there we could go fishing. Um, just like I said, a lot of great memories from growing up down there. Used to ride the bikes all over the campground. You know, there's this thing about camping. It's kind of like an understood thing that when you go camping, everybody respects everybody else. I know there's some campgrounds out there that aren't like that, but the ones that are usually the Army Corps of Engineer sites or campgrounds, um, you know, you didn't have to worry about anything getting stolen because everybody was watching out for everybody else, and it was just super friendly. Um, you know, when there weren't like huge parties going on at all hours of the night, you know, after about 10 o'clock or when the sun went down, everybody was respectful and pretty quiet for the most part, and just, you know, have a good time. And you know, the park rangers would come out and they'd check around and make sure you're not doing anything stupid. But just generally a good time. Um, you know, everybody is out there to help and lend a helping hand if you need one too. Um, it's just good. Mm. First bikini I snagged off a girl swimming where she shouldn't have been. What? Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, I can you know, it was kind of funny because when we'd go with grandpa on my dad's side, um, he had to bring his own tent because that man snored so loud that nobody else could get any sleep. So um, I didn't care because once I went out, I could sleep through just about anything, and so I'd sleep in his tent with him. did that a couple of times. We had a excuse me, we used to tent camp, and we had um, this fantastic big green Coleman canvas tent. I wish you never would have got rid of that thing because it might be worth something today if you still had it. But this thing was like I think it was considered like an 8-person tent, big green canvas tent. It was one that you had to waterproof because if not, uh, it would seep through the canvas. So I can remember Dad setting this thing up in the backyard, and he had an aerosol can that he used and put this shirt kind of looks like it's on inside out. I do believe it is. How funny is that? I just realized that. That's hilarious. Oh well, life goes on. But anyway, he'd set this thing up in the backyard, and he'd waterproof it. It had like a off-white roof panels, and the sides were darker green. Then it had like a vinyl or something green floor. Um, Big old screened entry doors, had big old like bay windows on either side, screen that you folded up, and it had little awnings on it so you could leave the window unzipped a little bit and down to get ventilation when it rained. Um, been through a bunch of went through a bunch of storms in that thing, and man, you could have sworn that thing was going to come apart, but it held together. It had all aluminum poles with it. It was heavy. It had a separate canvas or separate canvas bag that you use to put all the poles in, and then if you fold the tent up right, it would fit in the canvas bag that you got it. But the thing weighed a shit ton. It was pretty cool, and I had bought like a it was like a four or 6 man tent, kind of a pop up tent. When the wife and I first got together, and we camped in that down on Memorial Weekend was our time that we went down to um, Table Rock, over that break. And we went down to Table Rock one time and camped on the peninsula, and it rained the whole flipping time we were down there. And after that, the wife says, we're done doing the tent camping because everything in the tent got wet. It sucked. Um, I've still got my little 5x8 trailer, but we had loaded it up with firewood probably 3/4 of the way up. It had like a 2 or 3 foot side on it. We had it loaded with firewood, and we went through that whole thing. Yeah, Mike, the only problem that I've got with doing tent camping anymore is I wear a BiPAP machine at night for breathing. Because if not, I'm like a flipping zombie. I don't get enough oxygen at night. So they've got me on a BiPAP machine. I've worn one probably for oh about 15 years now, and I don't leave home without it. That's for sure. And so I have to have electricity. Um, and anymore, I don't sleep when it gets really hot. If I'm uncomfortable, I can't sleep. I just my body won't let me do it. So I that's when we started doing the camping in the camper. Our first camper was a Salem 24-foot fifth wheel, aluminum sided, had bunks in it. Um, just a small camper. And in fact, I don't think we hardly ever took a shower in that thing just because there wasn't enough room. And being the guy my size, I need a shower with room on it. I'd still like to lose some weight, but I swear that I think that the medication I'm on has something to do with it. I can't prove it. Um, and of course the doctor won't admit to it because it's controlling my blood sugar and blood pressure and all that good jazz. But at any rate, we haven't been camping in a while now, and I'm really getting the urge. I know the wife is, but we don't have any insurance on the fifth wheel anymore because it got totaled out from um, the roof being damaged. So they totaled it out, and now, granted, if I'm pulling it with the truck and something happens to it when I'm pulling it with the truck, then it's covered by the insurance on the truck. But other than that, that's it. Um, so if something was to happen to it and we were camping and a tree fell on it, I'm out. I mean, um, there's just nothing I can do. So I've been kind of looking at campers. Yeah, yeah. Thanks to Cletus McFarland, the El Caminos are making a huge comeback. That and Crown Vics. He's done a good job of getting those to be popular again. In fact, he's on Rocky Mountain Race Week with Mullet right now. So, and I guess they got Rocky going just the other day, so they could make the trip. I think that would be a lot of fun. Do one of those Rocky Mountain Race Weeks. I'd never win anything because I don't have the funds to make that kind of keep up with them big boys. But hey, still have fun nonetheless. Oh Lordy, I'm tired. Been a long day. Uh-oh. Speaking of Rocky, the Blazer. Apparently, LS George lost his brake pedal. I got a picture of him on Facebook right now. He's out in the middle of a looks like a wheat field. And that's the only place he could go, apparently. Uh-oh. That sucks. Somebody lost a 4th gen TA in a head-on collision. Guy walked away from it though. He was kind of beat up, but he's still upright. It cracks me up. These people put these ads out there. If you ever watched, you ever look around, just go through Facebook sometime and watch that stuff. Prime example. So there's this ad from Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Memes, and it's from Catskill Outdoors. And it says, "Anybody know what lake this is?" And it shows this gal with just a cut off shirt, uh, with curves like you wouldn't believe, and smiling, looking at you, and there's a lake in the background. Come on, really? You're not looking at the lake. Cracks me up. Wow. 2,000 cattle in southwest Kansas feedlots died from heat stress. Interesting. I tell you what, guys, this world is just crazy. I put a 400 big block and a T5 in it, and it was a 59. I bet that freaking T5 didn't like that big block much. Yeah, that's my wife responded to it. Says, "How about doing an autopsy looking for drugs or poison?" I absolutely agree to that. Let's see what some of their comments say. A few more comments. Your previous comments. There we go. Yeah. Lies. I don't believe heat stress had anything to do with it. Cracks me up. Oh, here you go. We got to make it about Trump or the 45. It says she's a Trumper. It says they don't believe in evidence. Come on. Cracks me up where everybody's trying to make it about Trump. It just never ceases to amaze me the amount of people that just Mike, they live among us. Oh, I just don't get it. That's hilarious. So somebody just posted a meme on here that shows Abomination with puppeteers of or puppets of Biden and Harris. That's hilarious. And it says at the bottom is this is what's really happening in DC. That's great. Pre-shit's up. Pre-shit's TP. That's hilarious. Lake Mead in Vegas is drying up, huh? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody didn't have something to do with that too. Um, I, I'm call me what you will, call me a conspiracy theorist. I believe they're out to do us all in, but like I said, it just could be full of crap, and I don't know what I'm talking about, which that wouldn't surprise me either. Well, check it out. Jamie Langford won a freaking PSCA race. Good for him. Stop. Oh, that's fantastic. Hard telling what's in a lot of lakes when they drain them like that. How about the guys that do the magnet fishing? Pulling up all these weapons and guns and stuff in lakes or rivers. Yeah, that's pretty crazy stuff there too. Oh crap. Mm. Well, Bob, I got some pretty good videos out there if you want to go look at them. Kind of help guide you through it. It's been a while since I've done anybody else's besides GM's though, but I've done Ford transmissions. I've done um, Iacon, um, Iacon Warner is what it was called, and it was in a Zuzu box truck. That was an interesting transmission. That was pretty cool. Well, right on. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And hopefully you can learn something off of 'em, not too dang boring. And yeah, I know all about the music in some of the videos. I've since the later videos I don't have any music in them. Sometimes in the time lapse ones, but that's terrible, Steven. I've worked on Jags. Jags are kind of a rare breed. We had a couple customers that had one. It's kind of strange. It used GM um, braking system on it. It had a Turbo 400 in it, and it used the old Frigidaire AC compressor, the big long dang compressor. They call it an A6 compressor. Yeah, the starters were stupid on them too. I tell you, the worst starter I had to do was on a 91 S10 Blazer with a 4.3 liter in it. You didn't hardly have enough room to get a starter in and out of that thing. It was terrible. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm tired. Hard. Yeah, it was what was it, Thursday I came home and it was 103 down here, which I told the wife is, I think that's the first time since we've been down here that I've seen 100 plus temperatures on the way home from work. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, it was hot that day. You couldn't hardly, you know, we got fans at work, but you just blown around that hot air and it's tough to work. You just lose motivation because the heat. So I'd imagine this whole summer is going to be pretty steamy. I mean, we're not even in July and August yet. Most of September is still pretty warm. It doesn't start actually starting to cool off here till around October, but you can damn near run the air conditioner year round down here in the house, obviously. Well, you can do it in your car too, but it gets so blooming hot. But that's what the wifey wanted. She wanted to move to Florida, so here we are. I miss my fall October stuff when it cools off and the leaves start changing and you get all the pretty colors on the maples. Yeah, I mean it was. I don't know what heat index they're calling for. Warnings on the heat index down here too. Um, Heat index is supposed to be 110, or something like that down here. I mean it's stupid. Um, hey, there's a guy out there that if you guys like watching weather and forecasting, the guy's pretty accurate, and he's real good with his information. That's Ryan Hall, y'all. That's the name of his YouTube channel, and he's a weathercaster, and he's pretty accurate, and he's kind of funny to watch at times. But he showed that there was a heat wave coming. He wasn't lying. And it got hot. I was talking to the old boy down there when I was getting the hay today, and he goes, "Whoo, it's hot." I says, "Yeah, I know. We haven't even got to summer yet." And he goes, "I know." He's a little Mexican dude. He's hilarious. But most of them are the Mexicans that are running the fork trucks down there. Boy, they can drive them dudes too. And they got the little paddles that smash the hay bundles together, and it makes it easy to load. But yeah, it's been a hot summer so far. But hmm. Well, fellers, I think I'm going to call it. As I'm about to fall asleep sitting here in front of you, so I need to get out of here and get up and get my butt to bed. So I appreciate y'all that stopped in and said hey and left a comment. Um, as always, yeah, maybe a dream of it, Mike, but that's about it. But anyway, y'all be safe out there. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. God bless you and God bless America. Talk to you later. Bye.